this child's hernia be taken care of medically. It is getting to a point where it's a bothersome for him and interfering with his activities. I recognize that Ms. Herman had some objections to that previously, but this is not something that that should be just left to the side and waiting during this time period, because it does impact this child's life. Thank you.
Right. And then, Ms. Herman, you had filed a motion in this matter. If you could unmute, I guess my question for you, Ms. Herman, let me start with, can you unmute and state your name, please?
Yes, Miss Herman, Tamara Herman, sorry.
All right. Ms. Herman, you filed a motion in this matter after you appealed this case to the Court of Appeals. Is that correct?
Yes.
Right. Are you aware that when the underlying decision is appealed to the Court of Appeals, the trial court loses all authority to make the modification you're requesting?
I did become aware of that after I did.
And can I ask you why you didn't withdraw the motion?
I figured at that point that was left up for the appeal. Like it said in the notice that it wasn't going to be decided on for you, that you weren't going to do that because it lost jurisdiction, and then appeal was going to do it.
Why you didn't withdraw the motion you made to the trial court?
I guess I'm not quite sure how to do a withdrawal of that. So
Ms. Herman, you remember at the last hearing and in my order, I cautioned you about filing frivolous motions. Do you remember that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So tell me why I shouldn't consider this motion, your motion, to be frivolous.
Because it's up to the appeals to decide on the rest of the case now.
Yeah, but the motion wasn't to the appellate court. The motion was to the trial court. Why shouldn't I consider that motion to the trial court to be frivolous and consider sanctions for you filing it?
For the fraud on the court?
Yeah.
Well, it's true.
Well, as I just stated, and as you just acknowledged, I don't have the authority to act on that. And if I don't have the authority to act on it, why isn't it frivolous for you to have filed it and failed to withdraw it when you discovered the trial court doesn't have the authority to act on it?
Would I still have an ability to withdraw it since it's over in appeals anyways?
Well, I'm not sure that it's going to change any of my decisions if you withdraw it on the record when I am talking about sanctioning you for having filed it. You should have, Ms. Herman, you have a long history of filing motions which the court has found to have no sufficient basis. I cautioned you at that at the last hearing, and I put that in the last order. Despite that, you filed a motion which the court does not have the authority to consider. Your explanation for it is you didn't know, which I again cautioned you at the last hearing. The court is required to consider that you have the information that's available to an attorney. And when you found out, you didn't withdraw the motion. So, I don't know how much time Ms. Heifert spent preparing for it or Ms. Weaver spent preparing for it. I know I ended up reviewing it because it wasn't withdrawn. You continually raise these issues without a sufficient basis. And so, given that I warned you last time about doing this, I'm wondering why monetary sanctions aren't appropriate.
Well, I think the sufficient enough where nothing has even been looked into. My filings are all concerns that I've had. Nothing even has been brought to anybody's understanding or no. nobody understands that they actually do make sense if people would just look at them.
Well, regardless of whether I think they make sense or not, that doesn't address that I don't have the authority to evaluate it at this point. Why did you file a motion requesting the court to evaluate something when the law is completely clear that I don't have the authority to evaluate it while it's on appeal? Why is that motion sitting in front of me?
I think it was actually filed before I filed the appeal on the 20th. Is my
Oh, it was filed in September. You filed it on August 20th.
August
You filed
20th.
the appeal.
Okay, so I did file the fraud on the second time I filed it, because I put it in July, and then I put it in
That was
again.
denied. So, okay. And so far, you're not telling me a reason other than the fact that you don't like the ultimate decision in the case and you're filing paperwork because you want to change the ultimate decision. So far, you haven't given me any reason why I shouldn't consider sanctions. Is there anything you want to tell me about why I shouldn't consider sanctions?
Well, the things that I've said in what I file, I would want a reason why everybody and you think that they're not true and they're made up, or they're to get a different outcome. They're not for any manipulative reason. They're just simple concerns with important things to discuss, and they do have factual basis and evidence, and I was not even able to explain any of them. They've all been quieted out of the picture, shunned out. And if they weren't, they do have big impact on my sons and this case.
Seifert, any record do you want to make on this?
Yes, thank you, Your Honor. I am up to speed on the motions that have been filed before I was appointed, and then also since. It looks like the motion to stay enforcement of TPR's pending appeal was also filed with the Court of Appeals. They have not addressed it yet. They have been on top of addressing Ms. Herman's other motions and extensions. Right now, her brief is due on October 20th. That is after, I think, 2 extensions. And so the Court of Appeals is aware of these requests, and I fully support the district court not having the authority to rule on these. And any concern about the adoption or permanency going through pending appeal that Ms. Herman has, I believe the agency has included in their court report that that is not their intention. They're waiting to see what happens with this appeal. So hopefully we can get this appeal process moving forward, and then able to get to permanency for these 2 boys. Thank you.
Any record you want to make regarding my considering sanctions?
Your Honor, I am new to the case, so I was not at the hearing when you gave her the warning, and would just defer to the court's discretion on that. I will say I have spent a lot of time reviewing the motions in both this file, and then also the Court of Appeals file, and I fully support whichever decision the court decides. Thank you.
Weaver, how about you?
Thank you, Your Honor. I also support the court's discretion regarding sanctions. I know that there has been a number of different filings over this case as well as the appeals case, and it has caused a lot of confusion at times, and I fully trust the court's decision regarding this matter.
I'm going to find that it remains in the children's best interest for the Commissioner of Children, Youth, and Family to have custody over the minor children with right of placement, being with Medina County, that their current placement is in the children's best interest and the least restrictive alternative. I am going to grant the request to cease reunification efforts. I am going to approve the hernia surgery to be performed, and I'm going to take under advisement whether there's going to be further sanctions against Ms. Herman regarding the motion that she filed. With that, Ms. Heifert, anything else for today?
Just to clarify, Your Honor, are you relieving the agency from relative search efforts to do a permanent?
I think I said reasonable efforts. I meant relative search.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Otherwise,
So
nothing further.
I'm going to state that correctly for the record. The agency is relieved from further efforts to on relative search. All right, Ms. Weaver, anything else for today?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Ms. Herman, anything else you want to say at this point?
The relative search should have been already done when Violet Rose submitted it back in June of 2024. But I heard what was said, and so I guess I'll just see what happens next. And the child's best interest is with me. I'm their mother, and I will do anything for them.
Right. With that, we'll close the hearing. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.